4 over x, 4 over x. Alright, so that's going to be 8 over x is 4 over x minus 4. Right? Now, I don't really like the way that this is set up because of all the x's in the denominators. If you don't like fractions like this in denominators, get rid of them. Multiply everything by x. As long as this number and this number are the same, or this variable in this case, you're okay. That's going to be 8 over 4 minus 4x. And then everything is divisible by 4 there, so you can leave it at 2 over 1 minus 2x. Oh, excuse me, 1 minus x. There is no 2 there. Alright, everything was divisible by 4, so I just went ahead and factored it out. Pause that if you need to. Okay, last bit here. I gotta hurry because this is starting to get a little lengthy. Okay, for number 3, this has the potential to get a little confusing, so I want to make sure and take my time on this one. F plus g of negative 1. This is asking you to find, go to f, or excuse me, go to negative 1. Go to your value for negative 1 and find f. Well, here's f. Here's my value at negative 1. It's negative 2. Plus, go to g, positive 1. Negative 2 plus 1, negative 1. F times g of 4. Go to 4. Here's 4. Go to f. F is the thick one on top here. 3. Times g. 1. Right? Not really a lot into this. Subtraction. F minus g. So go to negative 2. Find f. Negative 1. Subtract g. Negative 1. Now this is actually a little interesting because it's 1 minus negative 1, and you all know that if we ever subtract a negative number, if you minus a negative, you end up adding. Negative 1 plus 1, 0. Now here's where it gets a little interesting, composites. When it says f of g of 6, here's the easiest way to do this. Figure out what g of 6 is. Go to 6, find g, negative 1. Now, I'm going to forget the fact that this 6 is here. Don't care about it. I'm looking at f of negative 1. Go to negative 1, find f, negative 2. Sorry, I didn't square those in before. Let's try that again with this one. Find f of 4 first. Go to 4, find f, 3. Now I'm going to forget the fact that there's a 4. I'm going to go forget the fact there's a 4. G of 3. Go to 3. Find G. 2. Easy as pie. For which values is f of x greater than g of x? For which values is f of x greater than, or equal to g of x? It wants to know where is f of x on top. That's simple enough. Over here, f of x is on top. Here, f of x is on bottom. Here, f of x is on top. Here, f of x is on bottom. So there's two intervals. One that goes from negative infinity to negative 2. Now, it can't touch negative infinity, but it does touch negative 2 because of this equal to sign right here. And then from 3 right here, it starts on top again to 8, touching both of them. For which values is f minus g less than 0? F minus g less than 0. stop. If you are subtracting two numbers and they end up being less than 0, that means that they end up being negative, right? Numbers less than 0 are negative. So if your numbers are less than 0, meaning your numbers are negative, which number has to be bigger in that subtraction? Let me do it this way. If you've got A, hope you can see that, minus B, get out of here, marker, go home. If you've got A minus B, to make this a negative number, which one has to be bigger? So plug something in. 4 minus 2. Well, that's a positive 2. What about 2 minus 4? That's a negative 2. Which one has to be bigger? The second number. So if they're asking you where f of f minus g is less than 0, this is wanting to know where is g of x bigger than f of x. Here's another way to think about it. If you were to take this back to the front, and let's say f minus g is f of x minus g of x, do algebra. Add g of x to both sides. What are you left with? You are left with f of x is less than g of x. Those are the exact same thing. Fantastic. Where is f of x below g of x? Well, f of x is below g of x from negative 2 to 3. Parentheses because it is not included, and from 8, it is an 8 to infinity. Alright, hope you guys can get this. Pause it, rewind it, check it, flip it, erase it, whatever you want to do with it. Remember this. Come to school tomorrow ready to go.